So, welcome to Two Dads, Six Daughters. We haven't done one in a while. Myself, Tony Scott, and Mark Clark. And how you doing, man?
Good, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
Or
I got
say
a
Happy
message.
New Year.
Happy New Year, or as Olivia used to say, Happy New Year. But I got a note from somebody on Facebook. Oh, y'all quit doing Two Dads, Six Daughters because men on Scandal. Like, no,
There's always
no.
controversy.
Yeah, no, it's just that Mark's been very busy.
I've been
with a lot of
I've been very busy doing nothing. I've been spinning my wheels. Yes,
Oh no,
I'm
man.
I'm doing a lot, but
Yeah.
not doing a damn thing.
Well, I tell you what. I watched your video today with Sydney.
Oh man, yeah, it was cool, huh?
That's a star in the making, man, right there, man.
Man.
I was taken aback, is what she said. I was like, wait a minute, how old is she? She's 13. You can't say taken aback when you're 13. You can't do that. I'll put a link in the down below if you want to see Mark and Sydney, his 13-year-old, his oldest, getting her perspective on 12 Years a Slave.
Man, that was
She had some very good insight. That wasn't the insight of a 13-year-old mind, though. That was the insight of someone who's in their late teens, easy at
yeah.
least.
Well, I thought about we're very blessed because Sydney and all the kids have been around their grandparents, their whole life. So they were raised by their grandparents as far as babysitting goes. And I remember when Sydney was like in kindergarten or first grade or something, and the teachers, throughout her grade school career, kept saying that Sydney has a very strong, sense of morality, from a right and wrong standpoint, not, not judgmental or not churchy, but just kind of like, right and wrong. And I think, we just watched the movie. I wanted to, right after, we didn't even have a conversation really after the movie because I wanted to capture it. And man, she did hit it out of the park with basically the human aspect. But that's what she's been taught her whole life, that whole kind of belief that, the race thing is not even real. But at the same time, it is real. But yeah, man, I was so proud of her,
Yeah, man.
And
I said, look at these two over here.
And-
I could see that being a weekly thing, man.
Well, that's what somebody was like, hey, man, so
You're on to something.
add that to Talking 360.
Yeah, man.
Well, I will pimp all my family.
Let's make it happen, Captain.
If need be, I will pimp them all.
Man, so how is the family, man? Everybody good?
Everybody's good, man. The rundown is, Sydney, all the kids are doing well in school. Sydney's, just like Olivia, is into this dance thing, and it's all encompassing, as
Right.
you know.
Yes.
Sydney's on point now, so it's exciting about that. Sydney recently kind of lost some baby fat, and as you know,
she looks like a different child.
and that's something. And Tony, how the whole ballet thing is. So she has the biggest audition of her life coming up in February. But the good thing about it is it's not like, it's a big audition. It's like the Harvard of dance schools has a summer program, and her teacher has selected 5 that are going to try.
Okay.
And if they make it, if she makes it, it would be a summer in New York at one of the most prestigious dance things, which that's pretty crazy. But her teacher just wanted her to go through the experience. She wants them to go to.
So if she gets accepted, is she going to go to New York, man? Are you going up there too, or
Well-
are you going to sit up there by herself? What?
Yeah, no. If something like that, I definitely would. If something like that happened, I probably would. I mean, but you can't stay with them. They actually have a whole thing, the place they stay and everything. But
So you got to find your own place to stay.
I would, I'd be up there. I would be up there on the streets. Is she my daughter? Is she in the end?
And that's just what we do, man. So that's great for her, man.
And just the experience, and of course, and then Skylar is adjusting to 6th grade, which is a big change. Kind of like the new, she was used to being a big fish in a small pond. Now it's the medium pond. And I really do think she's kind of adjusting. Skylar is a sweet sweetheart. And you know how that is. That's kind of, you got to learn how to toughen up a bit and she also is very, she's still very girlish. She's not trying to be grown. She's not trying to be fast. And, there's a little adjustment there. And so she's, she's doing well. And then Spencer actually is, she's having an interesting adjustment because school's great and everything. But, the oldest, I'm sure you have the same thing with your girls. So Spencer kind of competes with Sydney to a degree, and now they're taking tap together. And Spencer did tap first. And so, there's a kind of, but she moved to Sydney's school. So there's been a little adjustment there. And also that oldest, youngest dynamic is in play.
Yeah.
That's what's going on with my three, man. What about you, man? What's going on, Gramps?
Grandson, my second grandson's doing good. AJ, my oldest, is going to be 30 years old next month.
Wow.
Man. And Olivia is back at school. We had her home for the holidays, and that was great. And she's back at school. And I just see the change in her. First semester, right? Mm-hmm. Now she's in the second semester, and she's growing fast, miss. I mean, she's an adult. I mean, basically. So, and Maria is in the home stretch of her middle school career, and as she gets ready for high school next year, she's doing tennis. I think we're going to start some private lessons to help her with her work on her serve, and then she's going to be trying out for the high school tennis team later this year, and everybody's good, man. Everybody is doing great. My wife is. It's funny because, do your kids ever catch you guys, kind of sort of having an adult conversation?
Oh, yeah. And then but mine all hop in. It's like, if we're arguing, if we're having a conversation, if we're, if we're naked, no, I'm joking. Our kids are always in the mix. That's the thing. That was, when I was coming up, it wasn't like that. You kind of had your grown conversations and, you just, I think a shut the hell up would be quick to come out somebody's mouth, but our generation, we don't do that. We kind of let them, they're in the mix.
Well, you know what? I don't say shut the hell up, and I said, mind your business, man. I'm over here. I'm over here. You over there. Stay over there. So, but today, my wife was taking Olivia to dance, and we're talking on the phone. And I said, well, let me let you get off the phone so you can spend some time with your daughter. They're in the car together. It's how awkward it is when one's on the phone, the other one's just sitting there. One of those kind of things. And so my wife's like, well, do you think I need to have more alone time with her? She says, I birthed her. She knows me inside and out, And so I said, I know you inside and out too, right? And my wife didn't tell me that we were on a speakerphone. So, you can hear Olivia laughing in the background, and she tells my wife, I bet you want to get off the phone now, huh?
Wah, wah, wah. Yes.
I was like, hey, you're supposed to tell people when you put them on a speakerphone, man. You just can't throw them out there like that. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, man, it's man, it goes by so fast, man. I mean, I tell you that all the time when we're not even doing this, and we're just talking on the phone, how fast it goes, man. I mean, my grandson's now 11 years old, and
wow,
he'll be headed to middle school next year, and
damn, it's like they catch up. I remember when he was 5. Right when he visited, he was 5, right?
Yeah, he was here for a summer when he was 5, and like I said before, we had to break him down a little bit, and we did. He's a great little boy, He's and we knew he was a great little boy, but you broke out the Wendy mug, man.
Yeah, man, a little placement.
So what'd you think about her, man?
That little rant, that little thing she did,
that little breakdown she did, because she to me she came off kind of bad.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you can't air dirty laundry when it involves your young child. Two, I'll give her this. She's being too hard on herself because you work long hours. You have a career. No one's criticizing your career. No judgment. But a boy is going to drift to his father anyway.
Yes.
And when he's spending most of his time with his dad because you're working, no judgment, no, it is what it is. It's fine. You can't, and it was like a woe is me, like he hates me and all that. He doesn't hate you.
Nah.
He's just closer to his dad. Now you know how fathers feel about their daughters. They naturally drift toward their mother. So it's like one of those things. But I thought she was out of line, man. I got to be real honest with you.
Well, I didn't mind. See, I think what I posted it on Facebook. I think this is why she does win. I think though, in that she does the Madonna story,
Mm-hmm.
and that sets up her drama moment. She says, Madonna's son loves. She basically envied the relationship that Madonna's son has with her, and then she says, "I just found out my son hates me." A little dramatic,
Yeah.
tears, but then she continued the bit and moved right through it, and I think she taps into a lot of moms do feel that little drift in that middle school age thing, I just think I didn't have the problem. It just came off, like you said, it came off to me as though that's like like you said, it's a boy and his dad. And actually what's funny about some men, and I don't think you aren't really like this, Tony, but I know some men almost when they had kids, they looked at it like, I'm not really interested until they get to be about 12, 13.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of guys think that way,
Yeah, when the child can actually start doing stuff like
Yeah.
cutting grass and playing catch and, go deep, man. It's like,
and so that's not a problem. She sounded kind of pouty, I think, but that's how men interpret it. Go, okay, please. Now, what I also saw, and I heard other men dissect it, and I was like, I don't know if that's accurate either. Some men did take the old almost like, hey, that's the drama that working women have. Well, I think they have it younger, not when you're 13. I think, I think women do have a burden when they do have a career. In the back of their mind, they're always asking themselves, am I spending enough time with my kids? I think that's real. But this specific case with Wendy, I don't think that was the case, because that's not what her beef was. Her beef, like you said, was really that he likes daddy more than he likes me. And yeah, because dad, you get haircuts together, you buy shoes together, and her husband obviously, is a dad that is doing the stuff that the young guys like to do. Buy clothes, buy tennis shoes, play video games. Some dads aren't into that. Some dads are maybe say more corporate or more grown and they're not interested. But you got a dad who likes to go see Jay-Z. It's like your mother's popular, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of perks that comes with that, and he wants to do it with his dad.
Yeah, and the thing is there's working mothers, and then there's what she does for a living, and what she does for a living, and we know this because we're broadcasters. That requires, especially when you do a TV show, that requires 10, 12, sometimes 18-hour days.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of pre-production. They tape off where you're going to stand, and if you're tall, they got to get the camera angles right. And she's tall; she's like 6-something. So all that requires time, rehearsal. The wardrobe, all these things, promotion. And then she has like a game show she does on the side, and she's got some other thing. So, and like I said, no judgment about that. That is what it is. When you're in that business, you strike when the iron's hot, and you go right. So no one's criticizing that, but don't air dirty laundry involving your young child like that in public if you feel that way. That's not she pimped her son, and I feel bad for him. I'm not mad at her.
Right.
I'm not mad at her. I just think that she probably should have not even brought that up.
Well, Tony, I think we agree to disagree. No, I understand what you're saying, and I think it's and what's interesting because it's a double standard because I think there is a feeling probably like I look at it like sadly, with boys you're like he can handle it. You know what I mean? You almost feel that way with boys, and you wouldn't feel the same way with girls. Like, if she did it with her girl, then I would be like, oh, man, that's messed up to say my daughter hates me.
Yeah.
But to say my son hates me, it almost sounds like, again, I felt like, okay, woe is me, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. So we all saw what Richard Sherman did after the Seahawks game when he just went off on Michael Crabtree with Aaron Andrews. Well, after the game interview, everybody saw it and stuff like that. And then they, Twitter, racist Twitter heated him up and everything like that. And he did an interview. I forgot who he did it with, but he said something that I thought was very, and I never really thought about it, but I thought about it after he said it, and I was like, damn. I was like, wow. Because he said that, he got called a thug, and he says thug is an accepted substitute for the N-word. Which I was like, wow. I don't remember the last time I heard a white person called a white kid who's bad called a thug.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I even heard that. I might have been a teenager the last time I heard a white kid referred to as a thug. And I got to thinking, wow, that's true.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
I think his now, and for those who know his background, he's obviously, has an amazing story. Compton, straight A's, second in his class, graduated from Stanford, getting his master's in communications, all that, and then huge community benefits.
He's every parent's ideal son.
Exactly. And then on the field, it's something different. Now, I think it's a combination. I think he knew what he was doing when he did his emotional.
You think it was calculated?
Well, I think him being a trash talker is calculated, and it's the game face he puts on when he's playing. Do I think he, planned on finding Aaron Andrews and wilding out? No. So I think he could have been in the moment. But I think at the same time, unlike a lot of players, he's aware more than most of what the repercussions could be. And I think he was okay with that. Mm-hmm. And then I think the
man got a tweet from Hank Aaron.
And what did Hank Aaron say?
Hank says, "I'm with you, man."
See, that's one thing. See, Hank Aaron and those guys, they did not have somebody with a mic in front of them right after things. Imagine that extra stress that Jackie Robinson would have had trying to go through that with a mic in front of him. Yeah. Imagine players like my man for the Cardinals, pitch for the Cardinals.
Bob Gibson?
Bob Gibson would have been a terror. People, the intense players, Dick Butkus, Bubba Smith, these guys did not have a microphone right after, because I think at the end of the day, as we're kind of seeing with football, because all these injuries and even the injuries that happened during that last game, man, Navarro Bowman's injury, man, you just,
and then they blew the call,
and that's a man right there, man. He held on to that ball, didn't he? His leg was torn to shreds.
His leg was pointing in the direction it's not supposed to point in,
no.
and he's holding the ball. It's like, wow, that's crazy. Now the Richard Sherman thing, I got to be honest, I didn't like it.
I didn't.
I understood it,
right?
Because he was in the moment,
right.
And it was a very emotional game. And if it wasn't for the fact that hit the tips of his fingers, it had gone the other way.
Yeah.
But his athleticism showed. I didn't care for it. I thought it was interesting, though, watching Deion Sanders comment on Deion didn't like it. But Deion, he wasn't that demonstrative,
no.
But he talked a lot of trash when he played.
Yeah.
This is my house. Remember that?
Yeah.
When he went back to Atlanta, So,
yeah,
he did the same thing.
He was kinder and gentler than I didn't like it either, but I, again, I understand it. And I don't think he necessarily strategically did it, but I think it also was very emotional because apparently, this whole relationship is very, is that way. And it was his chance to shine. But the thing that's interesting is it would have been more powerful if he didn't do it that way.
Well, yeah, but you understand, had they grabbed him in the locker room, it might have been different.
Right.
But here you're talking about maybe 90 seconds removed from that final play, and he's still in the moment. You can't turn that off.
No, and you don't want him to turn it off.
No, you don't want him to turn it off.
You need it.
Yeah, you need it. You don't need it after the game, but you just can't. It's not a light switch.
And okay, I think again, they have a general story, but I can understand because you've seen the interview, I guess, with Skip Bayless when they went at it.
Mm-hmm.
So Sherman comes into the league talking a lot of mess, and at first, and of course, he wasn't making a lot of money either. But he was saying I'm the best, and people were saying, oh, you're not. No, you're not. So they say that he and Crabtree at a black tie event with Larry Fitzgerald, and Crabtree said some things that pissed him off. But he said, hey, man, we're at a black tie event. This is not the place. But he kept on doing it. And so then he's like, okay, well, I'll see you on the field. So this is that. And probably now he's recognized as probably the best, or at least in the top three, right?
Yeah.
Just months ago even, especially a year ago, he was not. They just basically kept talking about how much trash talking but they didn't really give him credit for being as good as he is. Now they are. So it almost was probably that moment was the peak or the culmination, or it was the crescendo of this relationship, and with icing on top, where I just kicked you out of the playoffs and I stopped you from going to the Super Bowl. Now tell me I'm not the baddest dude. You know what I mean? So all that was probably tied into all that. They did a breakdown on ESPN, the magazine, of his physical ability, and it's amazing, man. Like his vertical is like almost like twice as high as Deion's or something crazy. Like, you know what I mean? The vertical combined with his speed is like superhuman.
Yeah.
You know, and he's an A student from Stanford, so that also probably tells you what he's got going on. You know,
an A student from Stanford. That's amazing.
He's the only guy from his high school in Compton who was recruited from Stanford.
Well, yeah,
by Stanford.
Well, but not everybody. Now, you know, there were high schools who had nobody recruited by Stanford. So, you know, it's just one of those things, man. So over the holidays, you know, we found out that A-Rod's basically done.
Well, I can't say that.
Yeah, he's done.
Tony, didn't the management for the Yankees say they thought he was a valuable blah blah? They owe him $1 billion,
but you know what? Nah, I'd be shocked if he ever played again, because
really?
I don't think any other team will touch him. He's poison. And I read today that his union, the players' union, they want him out of the union. I mean, you know, so and I like Alex Rodriguez as a player. I don't know him as a person, so
yeah.
But what I've read, there's not a lot to like. But if you base your opinion solely on what you've read, which you shouldn't do, you have to know someone, you know. But as a player. Now I'm conflicted, because as a player, all those impressive things he did, was it all, you know, based on he was juicing, or, you know, not the juicing that you juice. You juice different.
Well, you know,
you legit juice.
I think all that, Tony, will be a thing of the past, man. And the weird thing about it is, I think Jose Canseco kind of got it right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because he got it right. And yet he says he regrets ever writing that book.
Yeah.
Because it ruined him. And yeah. I say the biggest reason why I think Alex Rodriguez is done is because he's sniffing 40 years old.
And he's an ass.
Yeah, he is an ass. Well, Barry Bonds was an ass.
But the same thing. I mean, I think if they were nice, then if Barry Bonds was a nice guy, it was likable, then I think he would eventually get into the Hall of Fame.
Well, the funny thing is that, you know, everybody says that he was going to be in the Hall of Fame if he wouldn't have juiced anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he got caught up with trying to compete with Mark McGwire, who he knew was juicing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about juicing, man, or, you know,
steroid use,
performance, whatever it is, all this stuff, because it's human growth hormone. It's whatever. Man, this is not going away, and there will come a time when they're going to let people who use that stuff in, because it's not, you can't stop it. You know, the testing right now, and Tony, here's the thing, you know, like with Barry Bonds, you're playing, and you love baseball, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing, and you can rub a gel on your arm. Man, there's too much money. It's too much. You know, it's like the odds. These guys that are coming from other countries, they have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I can rub a cream on my arm, on my leg, and I make 20 minutes. It's just I don't think
too much temptation.
Yeah, I don't think you can stop it. When we were coming, remember we used to have the same argument when players are making $300,000 a year, and we'd be like, and we were like, no, man, I would never cheat. That's cheating.
Yeah, it's cheating.
Now every kid takes supplements in high school. Everybody's GNC taking their supplements. Andro, creatine, some kind of protein supplement. So already the mindset is that, and people cycle on this stuff, testosterone boosters. You know, these are guys that aren't even playing it.
That's true. That's true.
So I just had that epiphany, man. I'm just like, it's just a matter of time, and I think I give it 5 years.
Okay. All right. Well, before we wrap up, let's talk about you, man, because you've been on this 100-day. Well, tell me about. You started out. Well, tell me how it started.
Well, I did a 60-day juice fast about a year and a half ago, and I lost like 70 pounds, and I was on the path, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the juice fast, I really didn't have a plan, and I kind of slid back into my old habits. So I picked up, 40 pounds or so, and I was very disappointed in that. But I also was trying to find a solution, as far as what exactly I wanted to do. Because actually, after I did the juice fast, I then did like this almost the opposite, this diet where I did eat proteins and cut down the carbs real low, blah blah blah. And so, and then when I did the juice fast, I didn't really work out like I wanted to because I like to lift. So this time I said, okay, I'm gonna do the raw. I mean, I've been reading a lot of information about fruits and vegetables, and raw foods basically keep their vitality, the enzymes, the full bang that you get in vegetables and fruits. When you cook it, it diminishes it, and sometimes, in some cases, it goes all the way. So, though you eat.
So when you say you eat it raw, so do you eat it cold? Do you heat it up?
No heating. So salads, fruits, vegetables.
But I mean, like broccoli, you just eat it cold, like.
Yep, put in a salad. Carrots, broccoli, lettuce, beets.
So you did that. You did the raw. You're doing the raw thing now.
I'm doing that now,
and you're doing it for 100 days.
Yes.
And how has that? How many days are you in now? You're about 27 days in now.
28. Yeah.
28. So you're about a month in.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel? Energy?
Yeah. It's interesting. When I did the juicing, I wasn't lifting. Well, first of all, when I did the juicing, looking back, I felt like when I did physical stuff, I started to cramp a bit. But now I've realized I think it was the salt, lack of salt when I was juicing. You know what I mean? Those celery and different green vegetables have a nice sodium supply, I think, and also could have been I wasn't drinking enough water also. So water intake's important, and monitoring your salt and your potassium and those kind of things. So this time I am working out like regular. I'm training, and I feel great, man. I think psychologically, I think there's this thing we have with meat and beef.
Yeah.
You feel like, I feel stronger, and there is something to that. But after I got out of that psychological hump, I really have been. I feel great, man.
Well, here's a stupid question: can you eat raw meat?
No, I'm not eating raw meat.
No. I mean, I'm not you, but I mean, can
you can eat raw meat?
Is it unhealthy to eat raw meat? Is
it
bad
probably
for you?
Because of unless you had the meat, unless you knew the history of what was going on with the meat. But the raw, usually when people refer to that, it is fruits and vegetables, because meat, basically, the raw enthusiast would say eating meat is the whole thing. Reason you're eating raw is because you're eating living organisms, and these living organisms, help your body live. Mm-hmm. Eating meat, which is dead, that's like anti-raw. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like basically, as soon as an animal dies, then obviously it starts to deteriorate, and as you eat that then you're eating that deteriorated corpse. Basically, what's going on.
So you've got 72 more days to go on this raw thing you're doing.
Yes.
And then so after that, you plan on adopting a vegetarian lifestyle.
Yeah. So I'll do it for 2014 and maybe beyond,
So, I mean, have you ever, when you say you're going to go vegetarian, I mean, because there are so many different types of veganism, vegetarianism.
Yeah.
Which one are you adopting?
Well, I think, the raw, at this point, again, the information that I'm reading, I still love meat, I'm not all the way. I think some people are driven by, I don't want to kill animals, right? And I feel that, but it's not to the point where I'm like, well, that's the reason. My reason is more probably health, like what I know about fruits and vegetables. And so when I'm doing the raw, I know that I'm getting the full benefit of the fruits and vegetables. I know when I start cooking, sauteing, and it makes it more flavorful. I know that I'm taking away from that. You know what I mean? And so it'll be a balance between. So yeah, my vegetarianism will just be. I will probably be. I'll probably be. And eliminate the meat products, which would mean vegan. But
so that means no beef, no chicken, no fish.
Yeah. I probably would take everything out just for 2014, especially. Then I probably would then experiment from there, because again, the fish, the meat, all the animal proteins are so contaminated. But sadly, shout out to St. Louis and Monsanto. Thanks, Monsanto. It contaminated all the fruits and vegetables too.
Thanks.
So everything's contaminated. Everything is almost like I just saw this story in China. They have a food plant that's making 500 pigs a day.
I heard you. Mark has a Google Hangout show that he's doing every day, and I saw that one when you were talking about they're cloning pigs now.
Yes, just for medicine.
Just for medicine.
Then I saw a story today about same thing with steaks, and then you're like, okay, it's on and popping.
Wait, watch out now.
No, it's
I think I heard
this comedian I know does a bit about it. She says her friend's African, and she says you do not know the chicken. You eat the chicken, but you do not know the chicken. We know the chicken, and that's true. Like you raise the chicken, or raise the cow, raise the pig. You know what goes into the pig. But we just eat whoever's pig. We don't even know if it's really a pig or if it's a clone pig or a chicken.
Well, I think it was Method Man. Well, some rapper one time says he doesn't eat anything that has a face. And I was thinking, well, that's not true.
I don't know. He is old school.
So, anyway, we'll stop here, man. That's we're two dads with 6 daughters each. I'm Tony Scott. That's Mark Clark. Thank you for watching. If you've got a comment, you can send it to comments at what is it? Which one? I can make comments. Usually it's advice at 2dads6daughters.com, because we usually read a therapy letter, a letter of seeking advice, but we didn't today. But we'll get back on our game. So, but if you got advice here, if you could share this, that'd be great. I'll put a link down to the video that Mark did with his daughter. And I'll also get is there a permanent link where people can watch your Google Hangout, or you just have to look for the invite?
Yeah, I think the I don't think it's permanent, but if you go my YouTube page, you can just go to my YouTube page.
Okay.
And I'll send you that information.
And what time do you normally do it?
What
time do you normally do On the Mark?
10 o'clock.
Eastern time.
Eastern time. 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay. All right.
9 a.m. your time. And also, I got to give you my link for my app also.
That's right. Yes, go ahead.
Bang the app back again, man.
Got to bang the app.
All this stuff. And also, man, Talking 360 is blowing up, man. You got authors, you got actors, you got all kinds of stuff jumping off.
I got a few people over there. So where's the app?
The app is on your any phone system. Mark Clark. Go to the store. It's for for iTunes. Or for
Android,
for
Windows Phone.
Yes.
All that stuff is Mark with a C, Clark with an E.
Yes, sir. MarkClarke.
Yeah. So
it's free. It's a free app.
It's free. Absolutely. So there you go. We'll be in touch again very soon, hopefully next week, with another episode of 2 Dads, 6 Daughters. All right. Thanks for watching.